Hey everyone, and welcome to a quick screenshot overview. We haven't been covering those since the reveal of the wonderful ARID DLC that is coming in a couple of days, but today I finally have the time to have a look on these screenshots. There will be a new one today, which I'm going to cover in tomorrow's video, but we are having a wonderful look at the wild ass. It's such a beautiful name, but anyways, it's the Somali wild ass, and it just looks like a donkey. I'm not even sure if it's a donkey or not, but it's looking like another type of horse. But I think it's a beautiful looking one. I especially love like how they design here these little like details on the legs and stuff like that. Also, I'm wondering what exactly they did here with the stones. That looks terribly piece heavy. Something that actually only creators would do. I'm very confused to why Frontier all of a sudden decides to destroy the FPS themselves already. I thought that's our job, but okay. I mean, I take it. But yeah, there's not really that much to take away. Honestly, this time will be rather hard for me to judge. There's only one animal I can judge, but the other ones, it's a little bit hard because I don't really have the comparison. In fact, I did not even know of the existence of this animal over here. So I'm relatively happy to see that one because I haven't had an idea that this was going to be in, but it's a welcome addition to the roster. I'm going to say a little bit more about the DLC at the end, so if you're interested in my opinion at this very point, stick with me. But the next one is not even an animal per se. We do see an animal in here, but it's obviously an overlook of the scenario. There is something else we are going to talk about in a bit, but I just wanted to zoom in to show you the porcupine over here, obviously. At least a very pixelated version of it. There you can see it. Look at these pixels. That's the porcupine. But yeah, there's, you know, since we don't get pieces or anything, it's not really, we don't have to deep dive into it. I'm very interested in the color choice they took here, but other than that, there's really not that much to see. So let's click over to the next one, which is the beautiful Dama Gazelle. And I have seen people in the comments when the pack was announced, people said this is the most beautiful gazelle available in the real world, they said. You know, I was very much not biased at all, unbiased, what's the word? But I just waited for a proper screenshot, and there you go. And I must say, people did not say something wrong. It definitely is a beautiful one. I love the different patterns. I love the different skin variants. I'm wondering how many of those exist, but oh boy, does this look wonderful. And also the little horn over here looks insanely detailed, like the design of it, really good. Honestly, this might be a gazelle I really would love to build something for because it just looks so good. Also, I want to point out that Frontier does a stellar job this time to make these animals appear being in the real world. There is something very nice about this, as if this is really from the deserts. But yeah, that's just like a little detail. The next one over here, and I have to read that out, is the Adax. Personally, I'm not like a super expert on gazelles and antelopes and whatnot, but I think this is the antelope of those two. The other one is the gazelle. And this one looks equally nicely designed. If I must choose from both of them, I think the other design of the Dama Gazelle just kind of is better for me personally. But other than that, it's a good animal. It really is a good, solid animal to go into your savanna habitats. It really makes sense to go into African areas, and just like, it's a beautiful screenshot. Again, Frontier have outdone themselves. I love that a lot of things that the game makes so special, or that make the game so special, appear in this screenshot. So first of all, you can see these animals actually chilling in the shade, which has been something they did in the beta of the game quite a lot, and they actively search for shadow. I'm not sure why exactly this hasn't been too much of the case for me lately. For me personally, the animals don't really seem to be intelligent anymore. I'm not sure what exactly is going on, but they're not using really the habitat as intended. You know, we obviously can't tell from a screenshot, but I love the fact that they do something intended over here. Maybe it's just me building too crazy that animals just are so confused about all the pieces. Who knows? Next up is this wonderful little cat over here. It's the sand cat, another cat I wasn't really sure about that this one existed. I have checked a couple of images. I can already tell that Frontier goes into the more cutie version of it this time. I think I'm fine with this because honestly, the real life version of the cat is not the cutest animal in the world. So yeah, you can actually cutify that a little if you want, Frontier, so I'm fine with that, I guess. But having a tiny cat like that in, almost like in a house cat kind of size, is something very cool. We don't have that in the game, so I do really like that. I wonder which animal base this is, because I feel like this could be a wonderful new base animal in terms of, you know, thinking further into the future. We have a lot of copies in the game now. I mean, obviously the wild ass is based on the Przewalski horse, and then we have the gazelles based on the gazelles and the antelopes based on the antelopes, which is obvious. But then we have two brand new ones with the cat over here. Even though it doesn't seem like that in the first glance, it definitely is. You can't use the tiger for that. Actually, if they use the tiger, they must have shrunken that down significantly. But anyways, it's a very good one, and I can't wait to see the animations of this one. Really, really curious for those. And then we have another wonderful overlook of the park that we've just seen. I think, oh gosh, let's have a look. Where was the porcupines? I think that was also a different angle. This building from the other side. So the porcupines may be behind that building over here, but I'm not entirely sure if that's correct, but that may be the case. Obviously, we have our dromedaries over here, even like a baby in there in the middle. And then we have something. I want to point that out. Potentially, you've seen that already on Twitter. You have maybe seen the discussion going about this. There is a little playground area in the back over here. And people were assuming, simply because it looks so prominent in this shot, that this was a hint that we are actually getting actual playgrounds, but Jens quickly confirmed that this is just devs playing crazy with the pieces and making something nice looking out of pieces. I have already said that in my last videos about the last DLCs, that Frontier has stepped up their game in building a lot. Like, to be completely brutally honest with you, the first buildings in Planet Zoo were not good at all. Like, they have done what they needed to do in terms of creating scenery for the, you know, scenarios and stuff, but in terms of building, if you compare that to what people were already able to do, especially from the Planet Coaster days, and when in the Planet Coaster days they have already taken inspiration from the builders, I wasn't really sure why they didn't do that for the game. But with every DLC, with every update, they have become better and better and better. And like a year ago, I would have said there is no way that they did this, like simply with the in-game pieces. That must be a playground. Unfortunately, they have become so good in building that it is very much possible that they actually used in-game pieces to create that. I still have like 0.05% hope, simply because some of the shapes look insanely complicated, but it might only be the angle. But like, especially this thing and also the slide over here looks super clean, and also like the triangle of the staircase and stuff. I'm not saying that we couldn't do that. It's absolutely possible to do that in the game. I'm just wondering, because this looks so super slick and so seamless and so nice. I'm just wondering, as I said, there's like this tiny bit of hope that they're just screwing us here and like, hey, you go, here's something special. But I just really don't believe in that. So just as a hint, but you've maybe seen that already on the forums or on Twitter or wherever. Next one is obviously the most important animal in the game ever. For me, personally. But I'm not kidding. I've been upset about the fact that we don't have didn't have a dromedary, I have to say, since the beginning of the game. And we did have the Bactrian camel, which is not really well designed in that sense that it didn't age well. It has been at the beginning, but we've already spoken about that so often. I think it's fair to emphasize that again. Frontier has become so much better in making animals from pack to pack to pack, that obviously the very early animals kind of fall short a little from what you're seeing. And the same goes with the camel. This one looks much better. It's just not a Bactrian camel with one hump less. It's definitely a lovely, lovely new, completely new version of a camel. This is not a remake or whatever. This is 10 times better than the Bactrian camel in-game. This is a proper dromedary, just like me, and it looks fantastic. I love it. I can't help, but it's just so freaking good. Yeah, it's really, it's just absolutely insane. I really do love that. Okay, then we have our friends, the porcupines. I know that a certain person from the community who's also loving a certain other artist who shall not be named is insanely happy to have this animal in. But I think this person also speaks for a huge amount of people within the community. The love for porcupines has been there for a while now, and it's been becoming bigger and bigger, and I've seen the comments becoming more and more and more obvious in my comment section. But as of now, we finally made it, and people can now finally calm down, enjoy the rest of their life. They have been given what they needed so badly, and I must say, this one has potential to become the best designed animal in game. I have just been to the zoo yesterday. No, actually it's 2 days ago because it's already after midnight, but never mind. We've been to the zoo with the little one, and I have seen porcupines again up close in real. And I must say, oh boy, they are spot on. They are absolutely spot on. I can't wait to see it really moving in game. I mean, we've gotten a little, like a tiny bit of a teaser, but it already looks stellar, especially with all the spikes and stuff. Oh God, looking at it, it just looks so phenomenal. Not sure what exactly they have done over the time to become so good. And honestly, this. On the one side, I'm extremely happy, but on the other side, knowing what they're capable of right now, knowing that we have animals like the orangutan, for example, or the lion, or which base animal, the Bengal tiger maybe, like knowing that these three animals are not, or that they can't benefit from this level of skill now, just kind of annoys me so much, because just imagine getting those three animals again from the same artists that work on the game right now, or maybe these are the same artists. I don't want to say anything bad. Maybe it's exactly the same artists, but they've just become better over time. Just imagine they were given the time to improve upon these old animals with the same love and textures and blah, 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 and shading and whatnot. Gosh, that would be so good. I actually would take that as a next update, honestly. But yeah, so that's that. I think that's the last screenshot. We've talked about 12 minutes over these screenshots, my god. Anyways, but there's so much good stuff to see in here. I promised you guys to give you a quick overview of my opinion of the DLC. And I'm a little bit on the split side. I must be very honest with you guys over here. Standing as of now, it may be the worst DLC in my books, which rating them in percentages still would be a very, very decent rating. But there are just, the level of quality in all these DLCs is so good that this one has a hard time in my books. I know that a lot of people love it, but I mean, we will get two completely new different animals in terms of, you know, style and size and movement and animations and whatnot. And we are getting a lot of zoo favorite animals that are very common in zoos. So on that side, this DLC seems to be really, really brilliant. But on the other side, it's like, there's not an animal like that really stands out to me in terms of flexibility when it comes to making habitats and just opening a brand new world. The latest DLCs all had at least the one animal that stood out in terms of what you could possibly do with it, whether it's been the sloth that brought in something completely new, or the walkthrough exhibit per se, or like a special diving mechanic or whatever. So all of these things in the past always brought in a bigger new impact to the game, which this one just simply doesn't offer, not even with the animals, you know. I mean, spitting behavior for the camel is not something I would consider a huge step, even though it's funny. It's not a huge step for the game. But I will not give the final rating as of now because I don't have it at hand, and I have been completely wrong with the Europe DLC as well. So I have been proven wrong once. Gosh, that's a hard phrase in English for me. So I don't want to be proven wrong twice and just being awfully criticizing beforehand. So let's first of all have a look at the game and then, but it's just my feeling at the moment. But again, as I said, if I would be rating that in a percentage, it would still be above 75%. So still very good. I think the DLCs in general are like just very good. Maybe it's still above the Arctic DLC, but you know, that's always hard to say. I need to check first, but that's that. Yeah, let's see what else we have in the screenshot the next coming days. I will obviously be covering those, so hopefully to see you around for those. Until then, have a wonderful time. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet and you want to keep up to the game, also keep up with other games and just be informed about whatever building style games goes around, comes around, you better sub to the channel because that would help a lot. Yeah, that's it. Okay, cringe goodbye. I should say goodbye now, right? I forgot the hotkey how to end the video. That is, yeah, that's the perfect goodbye now. See you.